The impact of gratitude and positivity on mental health. Welcome, and thank you for joining me on this journey. You're about to explore something that might just transform the way you think, feel, and live. The profound impact of gratitude and positivity on mental health. In a world that often feels overwhelming, where stress, anxiety, and uncertainty seem to dominate the headlines, it's easy to overlook the quiet, yet powerful tools we carry within us. Gratitude and positivity aren't just feel-good concepts. They're evidence-based practices rooted in psychology and neuroscience, with the power to rewire our brains, strengthen our emotional resilience, and elevate our overall well-being. This audiobook isn't about ignoring life's challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about learning how to shift perspective, cultivate balance, and create a healthier, more hopeful inner world, no matter what's happening around you. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll explore how gratitude and positivity work, why they matter, and how you can start using them in your daily life. Whether you're seeking relief from stress, striving for emotional balance, or simply curious about self-growth, this guide is here to support and inspire you. So take a deep breath. You're exactly where you need to be. Let's begin. Chapter 1: Understanding Mental Health. Before we dive into the power of gratitude and positivity, it's important to understand the foundation they support: mental health. Mental health isn't just the absence of illness. It's the presence of emotional well-being, psychological resilience, and the ability to handle life's challenges with clarity and strength. It influences how we think, feel, and behave. It affects how we relate to others, manage stress, make choices, and experience meaning in our lives. Just like physical health, our mental health exists on a spectrum. Some days we feel energized and balanced. Other days we struggle, and that's completely normal. Mental health is not static. It ebbs and flows based on our circumstances, environment, relationships, and even our inner dialogue. In recent years, conversations around mental health have become more open and widespread, and that's a powerful step forward. More people are recognizing that tending to our mental well-being is just as vital as eating well, exercising, or getting enough sleep. But awareness is only the first step. What we need are accessible tools that empower us to take meaningful action. That's where gratitude and positivity come in. They're not quick fixes, but when practiced with intention, they become mental fitness strategies, gentle, daily ways to build resilience, increase emotional stability, and reduce the weight of stress or negativity. This audiobook won't tell you to just think happy thoughts. Life is far more complex than that. But it will show you how small mental shifts can create lasting inner change, how simple, consistent practices can lift the fog and help you see the light more clearly. So now that we've grounded ourselves in what mental health really means, let's explore one of its most powerful allies: gratitude. Chapter 2: What is gratitude? Gratitude. It's a word we hear often, especially around the holidays or in motivational quotes. But what does it truly mean? Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. At its core, gratitude is a mindset, a way of perceiving and appreciating the good in our lives, even when things aren't perfect. It's about recognizing value in the present moment, in others, and in ourselves. It shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's already here. Psychologists define gratitude as a deeper emotional state that arises when we acknowledge the gifts, kindness, and positive experiences we've received, especially when those experiences are unexpected or undeserved. It's not transactional, it's relational, and most importantly, it's transformational. From a scientific perspective, gratitude activates areas of the brain associated with emotional regulation, empathy, and reward processing. Functional MRI studies have shown that expressing gratitude can stimulate the hypothalamus and the ventral tegmental area, regions linked to pleasure, motivation, and stress reduction. In simpler terms, gratitude doesn't just feel good, it does good. It rewires the brain for positivity, creating neural pathways that support emotional resilience and long-term well-being. Regular gratitude practice has been linked to lower levels of depression and anxiety, improved sleep, stronger relationships, and even a healthier immune system. But here's what makes gratitude so powerful: it's accessible. It doesn't require wealth, status, or perfect circumstances. Anyone can cultivate gratitude, even in the midst of hardship. In fact, many people find that it's during life's most difficult moments that gratitude becomes the most grounding and healing force. Gratitude is a practice, a habit, a lens we can choose to look through each day. And the more we practice it, the more naturally it begins to shape how we experience the world around us. In the next chapter, we'll explore the companion to gratitude, positivity, and how it too plays a crucial role in mental health. Chapter 3. The Science Behind Positivity. Positivity is often misunderstood. It's not about ignoring problems or pretending life is always cheerful. True positivity is about where we choose to focus our attention, especially in the face of adversity. At its heart, positivity is a mindset that leans toward possibility, growth, and constructive response. It's the ability to see a silver lining, even during dark times, not because we deny the storm, but because we believe the clouds will eventually clear. Positive psychology, a field pioneered by Dr. Martin Seligman and others, has transformed the way we think about mental health. Rather than only treating what's wrong, positive psychology explores what helps people flourish. It asks, what makes life worth living? What helps us feel fulfilled, energized, and resilient? Research shows that experiencing positive emotions, like joy, hope, love, and curiosity, does more than make us feel good in the moment. It actually broadens our thinking and builds long-term resources. This is known as the broaden and build theory, developed by psychologist Dr. Barbara Fredrickson. When we experience positive emotions, we become more creative, open-minded, and capable of solving problems. Over time, these experiences build psychological strengths like resilience, social connection, and optimism. In contrast, negative emotions tend to narrow our focus, which is helpful for short-term survival, but limiting for long-term growth. But positivity isn't just emotional, it's physiological too. Studies have shown that regular exposure to positive emotions can lower cortisol, reduce inflammation, and support heart health. It also encourages the release of dopamine and serotonin, brain chemicals that regulate mood and enhance motivation. It's important to note that positivity isn't about being cheerful all the time. It's about balance. It's about giving equal attention to what's good, not just what's wrong. It's about making space for hope, gratitude, and possibility, even when circumstances are challenging. In essence, positivity helps us build the inner strength we need to face life with courage and clarity. Coming up next, we'll look at how gratitude, our first powerful emotion, directly improves mental health and lays the foundation for lasting well-being. Chapter 4. How Gratitude Improves Mental Health. Gratitude isn't just a nice sentiment, it's a powerful science-backed tool for improving mental health. When practiced consistently, gratitude changes the way we experience the world and ourselves. It shifts our mental landscape from one of stress and scarcity to one of resilience, contentment, and emotional stability. Let's look at the evidence. Multiple studies have found that individuals who regularly practice gratitude report significantly lower levels of depression and anxiety. In fact, a landmark study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology showed that people who kept weekly gratitude journals for just 10 weeks felt more optimistic and experienced fewer physical symptoms of illness than those who didn't. But why does this happen? Gratitude redirects attention. When we focus on what we're thankful for, whether it's a supportive friend, a warm meal, or a moment of peace, we train our brains to recognize positivity. Over time, this reduces our brain's tendency to dwell on the negative. Neuroscientists call this experience-dependent neuroplasticity, the idea that our brains physically change based on the experiences and thoughts we repeat. In this case, gratitude literally rewires the brain for joy. It also helps regulate our stress response. When we feel grateful, the brain activates the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest mode, which calms the body, lowers heart rate, and reduces the release of stress hormones like cortisol. This explains why gratitude can lead to better sleep, reduced anxiety, and a greater sense of calm. Gratitude also strengthens relationships. Expressing appreciation deepens connection, builds trust, and enhances empathy. People who regularly express gratitude to their partners, co-workers, or friends report greater relationship satisfaction and social support, two key protective factors against mental health challenges. Even in the face of trauma, gratitude has shown remarkable effects. In studies of veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, those who engaged in gratitude journaling experienced a greater reduction in symptoms than those who didn't. It's not that gratitude erased their pain, but it gave them a new lens through which to view their experiences. It helped them access meaning and healing. Real-life examples are everywhere. A busy parent finds joy in quiet moments with their child. A student battling anxiety grounds themselves by writing 3 things they're thankful for before bed. A person facing loss finds comfort in the memories and love they still carry. These aren't grand gestures. They're small, intentional acts, and yet they make a profound difference. Gratitude doesn't promise a perfect life, but it does offer a better way to navigate the imperfect one we all share, a way to cultivate peace amidst the noise and hope in the midst of uncertainty. In the next chapter, we'll turn our attention to positivity and how it too transforms the mind and supports mental wellness in powerful ways. Chapter 5: How Positivity Transforms the Mind. Positivity isn't just a personality trait, it's a mental practice that can shape the way your brain functions. Through the science of neuroplasticity, we now understand that the brain isn't fixed, it's flexible. It rewires itself in response to repeated thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This means the way we think today influences how we'll think tomorrow. And positivity, when practiced intentionally, can lead to lasting change. Let's start with self-talk. Self-talk is the internal dialogue that runs through our minds every day. It can be encouraging, compassionate, and empowering, or it can be critical, anxious, and limiting. Most of us aren't even aware of how much our self-talk influences our emotions and decisions. When we replace negative self-talk with positive, realistic affirmations, we begin to shift the brain's default patterns. Instead of focusing on fear or failure, we start to reinforce confidence, hope, and resilience. For example, changing "I'll never get through this" to "This is hard, but I have the strength to face it" may seem small, but that shift can activate new neural circuits associated with problem-solving and emotional regulation. Over time, these small shifts become habits, and these habits form the foundation of a healthier, more adaptive mindset. Neuroscience backs this up. Studies using brain imaging have shown that individuals who engage in positive thinking and gratitude practices show increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making, emotional control, and planning. They also show reduced activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center. This means positivity doesn't just feel better, it creates more stability in how we process stress and threats. But positivity isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about widening your perspective. It allows you to see both challenges and opportunities, to hold space for discomfort while still believing in growth. Consider this. When you approach a difficult situation with a positive outlook, you're more likely to take constructive action. You're more likely to reach out for support, brainstorm solutions, or keep going when things get tough. This action-oriented optimism is what fuels progress and protects your mental health. It's the difference between saying "this setback defines me" and saying "this setback is teaching me something." And like gratitude, positivity is a skill that gets stronger with practice. You don't need to force joy, but you can learn to look for it. You don't need to ignore your struggles, but you can choose not to be consumed by them. In a world that constantly bombards us with stress and negativity, choosing positivity is an act of quiet defiance. It's a commitment to mental clarity, emotional strength, and forward movement. Next, we'll explore how to turn these insights into daily habits, simple, practical tools you can use to nurture gratitude and positivity every day. Chapter 6: Practical Tools and Daily Habits. Now that we've explored the science behind gratitude and positivity, let's talk about how to bring these concepts into your daily life. The good news is, Small, consistent actions can lead to powerful change. You don't need hours of free time or complex routines. What you need is intention, repetition, and a willingness to slow down just enough to notice the good. Let's start with gratitude journaling. This is one of the most well-researched and effective tools available. It's simple. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. In fact, the smaller and more specific, the better. A hot cup of coffee, a kind text from a friend, the feeling of sun on your face. The key is consistency. Gratitude journaling helps train your brain to scan for the positive. Over time, this subtle mental shift builds emotional resilience and reduces the brain's natural bias toward negativity, a tendency known as the negativity bias. If journaling isn't your thing, try a mental gratitude check-in during a quiet moment, before bed, during your commute, or while brushing your teeth. Simply naming what you're thankful for, even silently, can calm the nervous system and shift your mood. Next, consider the power of affirmations. Affirmations are positive, present-tense statements that reinforce helpful beliefs. For example, I am resilient. I am worthy of peace. I can handle what comes my way. When repeated regularly, affirmations can challenge negative self-talk and build a stronger, more compassionate inner voice. For affirmations to work, they must feel authentic. You're not trying to trick your mind. You're planting seeds of belief. Speak them out loud, write them down, or post them where you'll see them often. The more frequently you repeat them, the more they become part of your mental landscape. Another powerful habit is mindful appreciation. This is the practice of pausing throughout your day to notice and savor something good. It might be a beautiful tree outside your window, the laughter of a loved one, or a moment of stillness. Take a breath, acknowledge the moment, and let yourself feel it fully. This slows you down and creates space for joy. You can also try acts of kindness. Research shows that doing something kind for someone else, whether it's a compliment, a helping hand, or a thoughtful message, not only boosts their mood, but also lifts your own. Kindness increases feelings of connection, purpose, and gratitude, all of which protect mental health. The final tool, consistency over intensity. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Choose one habit, a daily gratitude note, a morning affirmation, or an evening reflection. Build from there. When these tools become part of your routine, they stop feeling like chores and start feeling like lifelines. In the next chapter, we'll talk about some of the common misconceptions around positivity, including the pressure to be happy all the time, and how to avoid falling into the trap of toxic positivity. Chapter 7. Challenges and Misconceptions. As powerful as gratitude and positivity are, it's important to acknowledge that they're not magic fixes. Like any tool, they must be used with care, honesty, and intention. One of the most common misconceptions is that positivity means being happy all the time. But that's not only unrealistic, it can be harmful. This idea, often referred to as toxic positivity, suggests that we should ignore difficult emotions, push down pain, or force a smile through suffering. But real positivity isn't about denial. It's about balance. It's the ability to hold both joy and sorrow, hope and hardship in the same breath. It's not about erasing the bad, it's about recognizing the good, even in the midst of it. The same goes for gratitude. Telling someone to just be grateful when they're struggling can come off as dismissive. Gratitude should never be used to silence pain or invalidate someone's experience. Instead, it should be offered as a gentle practice that coexists with honesty, vulnerability, and healing. Another challenge is that these practices can feel forced at first. Writing a gratitude list or repeating affirmations might seem awkward, especially if you're going through a hard time. That's okay. Growth is rarely comfortable at the beginning. What matters is showing up with intention, not perfection. It's also worth noting that everyone's mental health journey is different. Gratitude and positivity are not replacements for therapy, medication, or professional support. They are complements, valuable tools that can work alongside other forms of care to enhance well-being. Finally, remember, you are not failing if you don't feel positive every day. Life is complex, and so are we. What matters most is being kind to yourself as you navigate it all. There is strength in truth and healing in self-compassion. In the next chapter, we'll talk about how gratitude and positivity can show up even in life's darkest moments, and how they can be guiding lights through pain, grief, and uncertainty. Chapter 8: Gratitude and Positivity in Hard Times. Gratitude and positivity are easy to embrace when life is going well, but their true power is revealed in life's hardest moments, in grief, in trauma, in uncertainty. When we're hurting, the idea of looking on the bright side can feel impossible or even insulting, and that's because real suffering demands to be felt, acknowledged, and honored. Gratitude and positivity aren't meant to bypass that pain. They're meant to walk beside it. In the midst of loss or trauma, gratitude can take a quieter form. It might not sound like I'm thankful for everything. Instead, it might sound like I'm thankful for the friend who stayed with me, or I'm grateful I made it through today. In these moments, gratitude becomes an act of survival, a way of anchoring ourselves to something solid when everything else feels uncertain. Positivity, too, takes on new meaning during difficult times. It's not about pretending everything is okay. It's about believing that healing is possible, that you are not broken, that even in your pain, you are growing stronger. Resilience isn't about bouncing back to who you were. It's about becoming someone new, someone shaped by experience but not defined by it. Gratitude and positivity are part of that process. They help rebuild meaning. They remind us that even in darkness there is still light, however small, however distant. Some of the most profound expressions of gratitude come from people who have faced extraordinary hardship, not because they are superhuman, but because they chose to keep their hearts open to possibility, to connection, to healing. If you're in a hard place right now, know this: you are not alone. You don't have to be cheerful. You don't have to force a smile. But if you can find one thing, a moment, a memory, a breath to be thankful for, you are already shifting the story. You are already building strength. Gratitude and positivity don't erase pain, but they help carry us through it. As we close this journey, let's reflect on how far you've come and how the simple practice of noticing what's good can change everything. Take a moment to pause and truly acknowledge yourself. You've just spent time investing in your mental health, exploring tools that have the power to uplift, ground, and transform your life. Gratitude and positivity are not quick fixes or fleeting moods. They are lifelong companions, gentle practices that help you navigate life with more clarity, compassion, and strength. They remind you that even in uncertainty, there is always something within your control, the way you choose to see the world and the way you choose to speak to yourself. Remember, you don't need to get it perfect. This is not about being relentlessly cheerful or denying reality. It's about noticing beauty in the ordinary, finding meaning in the messy, and opening your heart to growth, one breath, one thought, one choice at a time. Let this be the beginning, not the end. Continue to journal, reflect, speak kindly to yourself, and seek out joy even in quiet places. And when the hard days come, as they will, return to these practices. They'll be waiting for you, steady and strong. Thank you for listening, for showing up for yourself, and for choosing this path of mindful, intentional well-being. May your journey forward be filled with awareness, healing, and hope. Thank you for listening.